So next we go to Huldah Thompson, our roving reporter, who will be covering the New York State Black and Puerto Rican Legislative Conference in Albany, New York. Huldah will be talking with Marian Porterfield amongst other observations of the Legislative Caucus in Albany. So this will be very interesting. Let's watch Huldah Thompson, our roving reporter in Albany.
Black and Puerto Rican Legislative Caucus is one of the biggest minority events that takes place in the city of Albany annually. To discuss this important event with me today is Marian Porterfield. Thank you, Marian, for being here with me today.
Thank you, Huldah, for the invitation.
Okay, but before we get to the caucus, I want you to just mention who you are and where do you live?
Well, I am a community organizer. For the past 6 years, I was actually the Weed and Seed Site Coordinator. That program is no longer funded, but I'm still doing the community organizing work, and I live in the Hamilton Hill section of Schenectady.
Okay, thank you, Marian. Great. I chose you because you were there with me at the dinner, which we will talk about later on. But before we get to that, I really want to talk about was this your first time going to the caucus?
No, actually this was about my third consecutive year that I've been there. I've been there, times past. There was a little bit of a break, but for the last 3 years I've gone.
Okay, so what is the significance of this caucus to especially minorities?
Well, it gives minorities an opportunity to come together to talk about some of the issues that affect minorities in the political system and in other ways as well. There's an opportunity for all different workshops so people can learn things that they need to know, to get information about what they need to know, whether it be about jobs, whether it be about voting, and different opportunities. It's an opportunity for when it's focused just on minorities at that time, so issues that are surrounding and involve and concern minorities.
Paul Webster, this is about the empowerment of Black and Latino people across New York State and the issues that are important to us in the coming year, like reapportionment, like health care, like job creation, like education, primarily K-12 and at the higher education level. So we're here to discuss those matters and come as people of color to make sure that our issues are addressed by the legislature, the governor, and our members of Congress in this important election year.
Okay, what district are you representing?
I'm here representing New York State United Teachers. The union representing 600,000 teachers in New York State, our higher ed, healthcare, and K-12 members as well.
Okay, let's talk about the people who come, not only locally, but people who come from throughout the state.
Well, that's part of what makes the weekend really exciting, Huldah, is that people come from all over. They come from downstate New York. They come from, out from Buffalo, Rochester area. People come from all over, and when you're there, you get to meet people from different parts of the state, which makes it exciting and gets you an opportunity to talk about what's going on. So it's really wonderful that everyone comes together, and I think it's great that they come together in Albany.
Yes.
And so, it's good to meet all the people and to hear people representing their areas.
So we're going to do some name dropping. So who are some of the big names that we saw there that were representatives or part of the caucus or legislative caucus that were there? Who did you see?
Well, Congressman Paul Tonko was there. Carl McCall was there. Thomas DiNapoli was there as well.
And I heard that Jesse Jackson was in town also.
He was in town,
yes.
for the service, the church service on Sunday morning. But I didn't see him at the dinner.
No, he was not at the dinner. I guess he flew back. So.
Yeah, I was looking forward to it.
But this is a 3-day event. A lot of people don't know that. This is a 3-day event. And like you said before, this is an event where people can come to get so much information as to what is going on in terms of the minority issues that need to be put to the table with the other issues. And one of the biggest issues that they were talking about was the
employment, opening doors to employment, and that is really crucial because most minorities are underemployed in many areas, and sometimes people don't think about the connection between unemployment and how it affects people's lives, including crime and all the other things, because people need to be able to make a living, to take care of their families, to take care of themselves, to be a part of that American dream that everybody always talks about. So part of that is being able to have a job.
Yes.
The other thing I liked about the caucus weekend is that there's a lot of information, there's a lot of time for education on different things, but they also include a little fun in there.
Yes.
So, so that gives people time to interact, to get to know each other and to network and do those things. minorities. So it turns out to be just a really wonderful weekend all around.
Yeah, that's what Carolyn McLaughlin said. And she also mentioned, I think her sister was mentioning, Wanda Willingham. She mentioned the big issue that's local right now that's being put to the forefront, which is
redistricting.
This is, I think, an important event, especially now because of the redistricting controversy that is going on. Albany County has a redistricting lawsuit right now that we are involved in, and as well as the governor coming out against the redistricting that has been set forth by the legislature here. Our own senator is involved, and we know too that they tried to spread Albany County into Schenectady County. So this is going to be quite interesting as far as how all this is going to turn out at the end of the day.
But it's so important to hear what they're saying, our state leaders are saying. And for the African American and Latino community here in the Capital District, this is an opportunity for us to let our voice be heard and let people know how we feel about these various issues that they're making decisions on that affect our lives every day. And it's also a time to have a good time here.
We've been talking with our friend Marian Porterfield about the Black and Puerto Rican Legislative Caucus. We will be back with more on our second segment of this piece, of the Roving Reporter piece. But before we leave, I'm going to leave you with a nice little message from Assemblyman Kareem Kamar. I think what he had to say sums up the total experience and the total message of the Legislative Caucus.
I'm not here with despair. We're filled with a sense of purpose. Because whatever we need to do as an organization to advance the hopes and aspirations of our young people, we will do it. From Buffalo to Brooklyn or the Bronx, from North Country to New York City, from Syracuse to Staten Island, from Kingsborough to Queens, we will defeat whatever stands in the way of the progress of our communities. For when it comes to the great challenge that we face, I'm reminded of the words of the great abolitionist William Lloyd Garrison. We are in earnest. We will not equivocate. We will not retreat a single inch, and we will be heard.
Proctors, bringing the best in arts, education, and entertainment.